Hey everybody, Sifu Ed here, and this is the video, as promised, on the domains of resilience. There are going to be 4 of these because we have 4 domains of resilience, and I'm going to speak about each of them. So the first one is the physical domain. Now, if we think about resilience in terms of energy, what does that mean? It means that we have energy. It's not depleted. When we're depleted, our energy drops, obviously. We're exhausted, we're tired, and then what typically happens? We begin to exhibit signs of emotional fatigue as well. So we'll bite people's heads off, we're short, we get impatient with people. So if we think about what builds physical resilience, if we talk about one of those 4 domains, remember the 4 domains of resilience: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So if we talk about the physical domain, what is it that creates us to lose energy physically? Okay, well, it could be lack of sleep. It can be mental fatigue, working too hard, putting too many hours in, not recharging our batteries. Now, this is nothing that I invented. Part of it's logic, and part of it is something that comes from the HeartMath Institute, which is a 30-year-old research institute that is there for the research on the heart and being able to understand the connection between the heart and the brain. So there's lots of incredible information. If you just go to their website, which is the HeartMath Institute, just look it up, Google it, and you'll find it. So if we get back to the idea of the physical domain. So the physical domain, okay, you're pooped out. So lack of sleep, that's important. Now, how do we improve our sleep quality? Well, one thing is to get off of these things so much. So if we're up all night twiddling around with a phone, looking at YouTube or looking at Instagram accounts or just working on a computer, it's a well-known fact that as we are in the screen, what it's doing, that blue light is impacting our brain, telling us that it's daytime and that we should be awake. So if you take a couple of hours before you go to sleep, get rid of the screens, whatever it is, computer, TV, maybe read instead, maybe take a walk instead. That's something that can bolster the physical domain as well. Exercise. Then that's going to go a long way toward being able to ultimately help gain a better night's sleep. Having the room completely dark, having no extraneous sounds. I know a lot of people like to sleep with the TV on. It's not so good because ultimately, subconsciously, you're going to be receiving that information. It's going to pull you out of the deepest REM sleep. So having it dark and quiet is pretty important to have that in your bedroom. What about food? Think about it as fuel. And if you like cars, if you have a race car, if you put watered down gas in the tank, how is it going to affect the car's performance? Well, negatively. Same thing with us. If you're eating garbage food, ultimately that's going to impact your energy, your resilience, everything that you need to be able to function on a daily basis. So different strokes for different folks. So different diets are going to work for different people. But generally speaking, if you watch the amount of fats, if you watch the complex carbohydrates, sugars, and you eat clean proteins and veggies, can't really go too wrong with that. So, but obviously nutrition is a whole other subject matter, but you can just use a little bit of common sense and come to the correct conclusions about that. Exercise. If you're a bump on a log, everybody knows that you feel better when you exercise, but that kind of crosses over into that mental and emotional domain. When we're impacted emotionally, what do we have a tendency to do? Well, sometimes get lazy, right? We don't feel like doing the things that are good for us, and that's an important part of the puzzle. So we have to really have all of these. the physical domain is this, what God gave us, this flesh suit, and we have to treat it right. Otherwise, it's going to ultimately impact us negatively. It's going to impact those other domains, mental, physical, and then even spiritual. So I hope that's useful, and I know it's pretty much just logical, but of course we could go into greater and greater depth with this. But if you find that balance physically, it's going to help you with all those other areas. So just go ahead and jump onto one of the other videos if you're interested in the other 3 domains, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.